All right, guys, we need a quick finish up notes. I'm going to try to get this done in 10 minutes. I want you to open up your notes to where you have your yellow cutout about the 2002-2003 Lakers team. You should have, if you haven't in class already, have these two columns in your L1. You need to run your one variable statistics on it and record everything. So your X bar, your SX, your min, your quartile 1, median, quartile 3, and your maximum. That's your 5-number summary, your mean, and your standard deviation. I want you to pause the video and do that right now if you haven't, and if you haven't written it down. Okay, you should have paused it. Now I want to move on to what to do next. In your L2, I want you to put everything but Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal in there. So you're going to put this into L2, and then this as well into L2. You're going to run your one variable stats, but you need to run your one variable stats for L2. Now, if you're confused, you don't have to do it. I'm going to give you all the data here in a second, but the rest of you, I want you to practice getting really good with that calculator. So put what I circled in green into L2 and run your one variable stats for L2. Pause the video and do that now, please. Okay, moving on. This is what you should have gotten. So I will circle it. This was the distribution with Kobe and Shaq. This was the distribution without Kobe and Shaq. Quickly, I want to discuss what we talked about in class already. We talked about how extreme observations really have a strong effect on your mean and your standard deviation. These are not resistant to outliers. Where you can see it, the median is not affected too much. It doesn't change a whole lot. The quartile 3 doesn't change a whole lot. The max does change a whole lot, obviously, because it's an outlier. 23.6 is. The purpose of this, we've already talked about in class, is to really say that, hey, the mean is affected by outliers, and you can see that by just observing the mean here, 5.1 compared to 2.52, okay? It changes. Also, you can note that this yellow distribution, if you look at it, the mean is much greater than the median, which means we have a distribution that is skewed to the right. Why? Because the mean is chasing those upper outliers. It is affected by those upper outliers. All right, the goal, though, of this is to talk about how to make a box plot. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to quickly erase what I just did, and I'm going to make this picture of my data smaller. I'm going to bring it down where I have my box plot stuff. Okay, how to make a box plot, specifically how to make a side-by-side box plot. So I'll use my colors again, yellow and green. This is my first distribution. This is my second distribution. I want to look at the the minimum, and I want to look at the maximum for the overall both distributions. And you can see that the minimum is 0.4 and the overall max with the outliers is 23.6. That's important to look at both distributions and decide what's my minimum overall and what's my maximum overall. And the reasoning for that is that's going to be your scale. I'm going to choose to go by 2, so 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. All right, now how do I make a box plot? Moreover, how do I make a side-by-side or a parallel box plot? I need to look at my 5-number summary. And as a reminder, with the 5-number summary, that is your min, your quartile 1, your median, your quartile 3, and your maximum. I'm going to start with the green distribution. That's the one where we took the outliers out. I'm going to plot my minimum. So I'm making my box plot with the 5-number summary. My minimum is 0.4, so that's approximately right here in green. My median, my quartile 1 next is 1. So that's approximately right there. My median is 2.25, again, approximately right here. My quartile 3 is 3.9, approximately right here. And my maximum is 5.3, approximately here. So I have my 5 numbers. Just to repeat, I have that right here, that minimum, the next one. And let me write it in a smaller thickness. So I have my min, I have my quartile 1, my median, my quartile 3, and my maximum. And you don't normally have to draw or like write under what it is because statisticians know. If you remember back from middle school though, this used to be called a box and whisker plot. So I put a line through my center and I put a rectangle around those middle 3 dots, and then I have my box and my whiskers. So that's my first box plot there. I need to do the yellow one. Why don't you pause it at this point, rewatch anything, and write down any questions you might have for me. Okay, so the yellow distribution, again, I need to go to my 5-number summary. I'm going to start with my minimum. My minimum is the same at 0.4. My quartile 1 is the same at 1. My median, though, is greater, so it's at 3.35. So I'm going to just go a little bit above, and I'm going to look at quartile 3 was at 3.9, so it's a little bit right here. Again, this is all in estimates. My quartile 3 is 4.95, so that's more over here. And now my maximum is 23.6. So my maximum is not going to be a dot, it's going to be a star because it's an outlier. So I need to go to my next maximum. So if you look at your data, the next maximum after 23.6, that's a star, is 12.4. Well, that's an outlier too. So I need to go to my box plot, and 12.4 needs to be an outlier too. So then I still need that 5th dot. So I go and I look and say, well, what's my next maximum? And that's 5.3. So I have 5.3, which is going to be approximately right here. So I still have my 5 dots. I have my minimum, my quartile 1, my median, my quartile 3. I have my 2 outliers and my next maximum. I need to now draw my box and my whiskers. I have my parallel box plot of the first distribution versus the second distribution. All on the same number line. That's important. Now finally, when you are asked to compare side-by-side box plots or parallel box plots, you do need to use socks as an outline. Anytime you describe, I don't think I got to this in class, you do need to write it in sentence form. Here is the example I gave you, comparing the 2 distributions. So you have the distributions on your paper. So look at your distributions as I'm talking through it. If you look at the shapes of the distribution, that's the S of socks. The shape of the distribution with Kobe and Shaq, so that is our first distribution, the yellow one, I believe, okay, is skewed right with the outliers because we have that tail of the outliers. The shape of the distribution without Kobe and Shaq, so that's the green distribution, is symmetric. I can pretty much fold it in half. It's going to match up if I fold on the median. If I fold on the median with the yellow distribution, I'm going to have this big tail that's not going to match up. Those dots are going to go way over. It will not match up. Oops, excuse me. Okay, so I just discussed the shape of my S. Next, I have to discuss the outliers. There are outliers in the distribution with Kobe and Shaq. They're 23.6 and 12.4. There are no outliers in the distribution without Kobe and Shaq. Okay, I just discussed O. So I have S, O, C, I need to describe the center. The center of the first distribution, so my yellow distribution, is 3.35, and here is where I will be picky. You need a comparison word. It is greater than the center of the second distribution, which is 2.25. Okay, again, what's key about that? I'm noting the center. I'm saying that they're both medians. Why am I using the median, even though the green distribution is symmetric? Because I'm given box plots, and that's what the College Board is getting at. They want to know that you can compare with a comparison word those medians. The IQR of the first distribution is 3.95, which is greater than the IQR for the second distribution, which is 2.9. There goes my spread. So my center, I use the median because I'm dealing with a box plot. The spread, I use the IQR. I'm dealing with a box plot. That's what makes sense for that distribution. Overall, though, you do want to stick to this table that I gave you, thinking about the mean versus the median when you are describing the distribution. So stick to this slide when you're describing the distribution unless you're given box plots. You can stick with your median and your IQR because more than likely you'll be given a box plot that's a side-by-side box plot and you need to describe it based off that using comparison words because they will want you to compare. We will practice this in class tomorrow. I hope you all are having a good day. Check my updates because I reduced 1.3 homework. You don't need to practice as much. And then from there, again, you make the choice on how much you do need to practice from the problems I suggested. Let me know if there's any questions, and I hope you had a great day.